that when the previous government is a government of what you call the right wing, the traditional right wing party in Ghana. There are two major political parties, the traditional right wing, the people who were always in control of Ghana, is a party of the what you call the establishment. They were in power in the past 8 years, and they were represented by Nana Addo, who became the president. He was a human rights fighter. He was part of the movements against the Rawlings regime. He made his name for fighting for justice. So when he tried several times to become a president and failed, but eventually in 2016, 2017, he assumed power. And he assumed power based on the fact that people got fed up with the Rawlings. For better name, I'll call it the Rawlings Party. People got fed up with the Rawlings Party because it was very, very corrupt. There was so much corruption. So and he came out with the good message. We wouldn't have family, business. We'll try to do what we can to ensure that we have justice. And so people gave him the vote. So within 8 years, the situation moved extremely from bad to worse. That, the government was really packed up with friends and families, direct families. Corruption became the order of the day. It was just a blanket looting of the state resources, complete blanket looting of the state resources. And in addition to that, the government was extremely arrogant, very, very arrogant in what they were doing. They wouldn't listen at all. Moreover, they enter into an IMF policy. And with IMF, what you have to do, if you enter into IMF World Bank policy, you have to structure adjustment program and others. So people definitely became fed up, and they voted on the 7th of December massively. It's never happened in the history of Ghana, or if it happened, not this scale, against the erstwhile right-wing government, and it brought into power the Rawlingses, for better word to use, the Rawlings Party, which is a social democracy. So they are the people in power, and because they've come out with at present the message is the messaging is not bad, because they're talking about Operation Recover All the Loot. The appointments, I think people are very appreciative of what they are doing. The president says that he's learned from his mistakes. He's not going to repeat the mistakes. He's asked all his ministers to declare their access by a certain date. If they don't, they have to leave their positions. So, but the country is in a dire strait. The previous government had an IMF policy, and they don't intend to break it. They will continue, but they wouldn't renew. From the indication, I don't think they want to renew it. So as at now, there is a lot of goodwill for the Rawlings Party, and the goodwill was in the sense that because the previous party was extremely bad, there were quite a number of independent candidates and parties, including our party, in independent presidential candidates and they couldn't even win 2% of the vote, because Ghanaians were scared, that if you vote for, let's say that if they divide the vote, then these characters, the people who lost the election, will come into power, because they had literally taken over the state. They have captured the state. And the electoral process, they had put people who were obviously part of them into the electoral system. They had organized a sophisticated way to control the country. So I think people were so scared and decided to vote for the lesser evil. So they voted for the NDC, so the Rawlins's party. But then we had about, the electoral system had about 18 million people, registered voters. If you had, and only 12 or 13 people voted. So it means 5 million didn't vote. I don't know how accurate those figures are, because if you have a population of 32 million and almost half are electorate votes, that seems very high. But if it is accurate that about 5 million didn't vote, it shows that there is dissatisfaction. And if you are walking the street before the election, everybody said, many people you meet says, we don't want these two parties. We want something alternative. But unfortunately, it wasn't possible for any alternative to emerge for several reasons. People were so scared to go for an alternative because they didn't want to bring these people back into power. And 2, money is in Ghana, the political process is so corrupt, extremely corrupt. So much money, so much is literally buying of votes, and you have to have money. It is only the SWL party and those who won, they managed to mobilize those parties, So that is the situation. In terms of our party, the Progressive Alliance of Ghana, we had our to become a full party in July, and June or July, and we didn't have enough time to organize. And when we organized to have a presidential candidate, what happened is that we asked, you have to go around the constituencies and get two people from every constituency to endorse you. And we found out that during the endorsement, some of them were like, you send people to go and get endorsement, they go to the place that you even give them money. And instead of them to go and get the people to sign, they'll sit somewhere and get the names and then sign fake. So when we discovered that, we decided that there was no need, we withdrew from the contest. So we didn't contest at the presidency. We only contested for 5 parliamentary seats, and we didn't do well at all. Because first of all, like I said, the money issue is extremely, very critical at the movement in Ghanaian politics. And a lot of the people, a lot of Ghanaians have just given up. It's like giving up hope, and people thought that they should put these people back. They put them back. If these people really, really fail Ghanaians, which seems, I doubt how they can manage it, even though, as I said, the vibes are positive. But I don't know how. They are not talking about the neo-colonial state. They are not talking about going to renegotiate these mining companies. Ghana is awash with minerals, and these companies just come and then take the minerals away, make their profits. And the Ghana government just, apart from the taxes and the 5% royalties, hardly get anything. So I wonder, this government, the present new government, talking about positive things, what to do. How are they going to get the resources, to undertake those development? Is a case in point. Our political party, we are trying to, it's not easy for us. We're trying to reorganize, but we need money, we need resources. So we look at how to fundraise and work for the next election comes in 4 years' time, working towards 2028. So at present, people are quiet, and then people understand there are quite critical issues that are facing the country. The country really, in terms of mining, there are people they call galamsey. Galamseys are illegal miners, and they're digging everywhere. Digging the Ghanaian rivers are all polluted, and that was one of the reasons why the previous government failed. And then some of them, like there was the current Minister of Lands and Natural Resources talked about the number of forest reserves that are being planted, for resources, and 9 forests that are no-go area for the forestry authority, because they have ensured that they are in control. The illegal miners are well armed, so it shows how bad it is. The country is extremely polluted, because of this illegal mining. People have called for a state of emergency, as far as this is concerned. So that is the current situation. Thank you very much, Yen.
Thanks, Yen. Just a question: if the current government, the new government, is not able to deliver, and people become discontented with them, do you think that they will swing back to the old government, or do you think they'll be looking for something new?
Yeah, at present, it doesn't look like they will go back to the old, but you never know. It doesn't look like they will go back to the old government. But what may happen, they may look, if an alternative, if it is possible to organize an alternative. At present, to be frank, we are there, but whether we are an alternative, at present, I would say we are not, even though some people in our party think that they can take over power today, and I think that they are not reflecting. So if we are not able to get alternative, because the left party, because what is happening is that the present government, the Rawlings party, has been able to get a lot of the soft, what you can call the soft left, champagne socialists, they've been able to get all these progressive forces. Even most of them, like the present president, Mahama, is a son from the CPP. The father was a CPP. Quite a number of them comes from the roots. And the present Rawlings party emerged from destroying the left party and then getting them into their side. So the soft left, a lot of the people have moved there. The other left that are there are extremely sectarian. We're trying to get them to come together. Unless they agree and come together, we can provide an alternative. The other issue is that at this present situation, I don't see them moving to the party that lost. What may happen if there's no alternative? What may happen is that there can be anarchy in the country. That is the dangerous situation. They can be, you see that the people will just get fed up and they won't vote, or they will just they will just cause distraction because the poverty is too much. And so that's what people are expecting. And the corruption, I don't know how in 4 years, if the present government continues getting them to courts and all other, because the plunder is too much. It wouldn't easily, in 4 years' time, Ghanaians wouldn't forgive them, maybe in 8 years' time, but not 4 years' time. I doubt, but you can never, I don't want to say with 100%. So it may be possible that we and other political movements may be able to come together and provide an alternative. And if we don't, and these people fail, this Rawlings party fail, we could have anarchy in the country.
Just another question, Yen. What voting system do you have in Ghana?
First past the post.
Like the British part. Yeah, so that, of course, that kind of system tends to favor 2 main parties, doesn't it?
Yeah. First past the post. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very difficult.
But the presidency is elected separately through a popular
by a simple vote. Yeah.
Simple,
Okay.
50 plus 1. Once you get 50 plus 1, you are okay. And this one won 58%. And I even think that he probably won up to 60, but because the previous government was, control the electoral process, there might have been some cheating here and there. So I think he probably, officially he won 58, but I think unofficially it could have been up to 60, so yeah.
And you have a second round if the person doesn't get over 50%, right?
50 plus 1. If you don't get 50 plus 1 vote, then second round.
Second round, yeah, okay.
But in terms of the MP, it is first past the post. So if it is 100 people and then somebody who wins 34 and the others win 30, 33, 33, the one with 34 will go through.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Yen, thanks very much for that. That was I know it was only just a short summary, but it was good. It was very useful.
Okay.
I mean, last question maybe is do you see has there any discussion about on geopolitical side of things and BRICS, about Ghana joining BRICS and so on?
No, not exactly, but the people in power, the Rawlings party in power will be sympathetic to that. They will be sympathetic. I think they will gravitate towards it. They will be sympathetic. They even invited the one in Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Toure. They invited him at the inauguration. And when they introduced him, a lot of the people who went for the inauguration would have been the current government's people. The audiences, huge number of audiences. When they introduced Ibrahim Toure, the stadium went amok. It's very popular in Ghana. That's the other thing. The Ghanaian, the average Ghanaian, whether in the NDC or MPF, prefer him. So people, there are some people who would like to call for a cool-like person like him. So the Ibrahim Toure is and the Malian, the Sahelian, the Mali, they're very, very popular. The movement is quite popular on the average person on the street, especially the young people.
So I suppose that shows some potential for the left, doesn't it, in Ghana?
Yeah. People really appreciate, and they say, we hope we had this man. But the problem is that people want people to do things for them.
Yeah.
You see, instead of doing things like we are telling them, take over this party, develop it. But people want you to do things for them. They want a Tory. They want Ibrahim Toure to take over, but they don't want to work towards it.
You mean they want a hero to come along on the horse, the white horse, to lead them?
You see, in Ghana, they lack leadership. Like when we formed the party and we didn't have, the major problem we have, when you introduce yourself, they ask you, who is the leader? Who is the leader? When you say, we want to develop and then a leadership emerge, they don't want to hear. Immediately they hear a party, they want leadership.
Yeah.
They just want a leader. They believe in a leader, a very powerful leader. And if you can hear with the present government, all the ministers, when they get up to talk, it's all about His Excellency, the President John Mahama, the praise, the heaping, it's like the, what do you call it, the Kim Il-sung. They try, not extremely, but trying to, this kind of kill Il-sung, the great leader and all others, Ghanaians lack leadership. I know Ghana is a highly religious country, but the religion is on the surface because they are also at the same time very corrupt.
Okay, yeah, that's very, very interesting, very helpful.